In every thriving country which has a lot of company, there is someone, either a representative, to stand in within that company, where if there is a problem, an incident, that person needs to stand in to be the mouthpiece of that institution or the company. And this is the sole duty of the public relation officer. You are warmly welcome to the campus show here with me and your Pondinchi, where we get to talk to university students to find out what they are doing. If they're even doing something, but they have the voice to speak, which will inspire both of us to learn from them. And on today's interview, before I unveil my guest, let me introduce him and tell you what he does. My interviewee is called Kojo Eja Anuhuma. I'm sure you correct me when he comes. He is currently a PR student at the Ghana Institute of Journalism, studying communication, and a level 200 student. He is a clerk to the General Assembly, a history enthusiast, and a staunch lover of video games and watching of documentary. So I welcome you to the campus show, David.
All right.
Charlie, you're
Yeah.
warmly welcome.
Thank you very
Charlie,
much.
it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a
We have
while.
gone back and forth about you trying to find the exact time so that we can
Exactly.
have this
Exactly.
interview. But you're warmly welcome to the campus show. So, David,
Thank you
zooming
very
right
much.
into the interview, I want to find out from you. Could you tell me a bit about you, even to my audience? I know you as
Okay.
Dave, but I'm sure there are more.
Yeah. So before I start, my name as you pronounce it is wrong. So it's
Oh,
Kujo
okay.
Eja Anaoma David.
Kujo,
Yeah,
Eja.
it's a name I inherited from my dad, who
Okay,
is an Nzema.
okay,
So I'm an Nzema by tribe, I would say, because my dad is an Nzema and my mom is a Northerner from Upper East.
okay.
Yeah, so I'm an Nzema by tribe since the Upper East people inherit from their father's side, but I can speak the local language, which is Fafra at the Upper East. So I went to my primary and GHS education at Great Victory Academy in Bolga.
In Boga.
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah, and
at which point did you come to Accra?
so I came to Accra, I think in 2016. That was when I was coming to have my high school education, which is
Okay.
at Mampong Presec at the Eastern region.
Wow.
But my uncle lives at Ashalbutri, so I went to stay at his
Stayed
place
there whilst you
before.
were schooling at
Yeah,
Mampong.
yeah.
Okay.
So
So David, okay, that's a very in-depth description from there. I want to find out from you, apart from schooling, I'm in school with you and I know you are in GID. Apart from schooling, is there something you do behind schooling or apart from schooling? It could be anything. Is there something you do?
okay, so aside schooling, I I also do graphic design.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm still learning though, but I'm able to design some flyers, and I'm also learning how to edit videos. So aside that,
That's what you
yeah,
do.
that's what I do. And I used to write for a newspaper, but as it stands now, I've been busy due to the academic
That
activities.
one, yeah,
So
you don't have to stress on it. I understand. We are both
exactly,
in the same suit. So
exactly,
as the semester starts like that, it kind of drains us and all that.
yeah,
But as someone would always say, your little bit effort that you put up will also try to do
exactly.
something. So I
So
want
for
to
now, I do only the graphic design.
only the graphic.
Yeah.
So is it something? Is it the graphic? Did you learn from someone, or is it, you would you say it's self-taught? Something that maybe you
Um.
learn from YouTube or
Yeah, I
something.
learned it from YouTube. Yes,
Okay,
I learned
okay,
it from YouTube.
okay. So I want to find out from you. Are you holding any position in school?
Okay, so currently I'm a course rep
Okay.
and I'm the clerk to General Assembly. So I just assist our speaker in writing minutes and official documents to send out to the student body.
Ah, okay. So that's your duty. So
Yes.
the information that we have been seeing out there,
Yes.
you are the
So
one who writes.
yes, I'm the one who writes and then he goes through to check whether everything is okay before we share. So if you see any communique with the GA
Good.
letterhead on it, it's from the General Assembly and I'm the one who does
Who?
the writing.
Okay. Wow. Hey, then Master, you did hold big post for you. When I see on campus, I have to salute you now. I
Oh,
salute sir. Okay, Charlie. So
yeah.
moving on, would you consider any leadership through political appointment and why after school? Would you consider any leadership appointment through school? Mainly because of you holding a position in school. So after school, would you consider political appointment and why would you think of that? If not to why?
Okay, so for now, I do not have any plan of entering into politics. Although I love politics, I'm a lover of politics, and I watch a lot of
Okay.
documentaries on politics, especially in the US. I don't know why I love US documentary, and especially when Donald Trump was in power. But then, I have no plan of entering or doing politics right now. But I have the ambition to be appointed as the Speaker of General Assembly to take over my boss in
Okay, in
next academic year.
so that's what you're working towards to in next
Towards, yeah,
academic
but
year.
after school, I have no plan of entering into politics for now.
For now.
Yes,
Okay, who knows? They say you don't know what the future entails. You
yes,
might have a
exactly.
change of thought later on.
Yeah.
So I want to find out from you. I introduced you by saying you're a communication student at Ghana Institute of Journalism.
Mhm.
Could you just in some few seconds tell us more about what the course is about and what you study, what you are studying in school?
Okay,
Very short
so
words.
I read public relations and I major in PR.
Okay.
So PR, to simply put, PR has to do with you giving the public or
Mm,
giving your customers information from the company and then getting the feedback from the public back to the company. So as a PR student, I'm more of like a mediator. I combine the skills of marketing and other skills to help me understand the relationship between a corporate firm and its publics in order to
okay.
ensure that the needs of the publics and the wants are being met by the corporate firm.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that's what basically you do in school.
exactly.
Okay, so moving on, I want to find out from you. Could you explain, you being a PR student, could you explain what PR and international relations are?
All right, so PR is a deliberate effort by a company to establish that mutual relationship between the publics and the corporate firm. So with PR, everything we do is deliberate. We intentionally
Okay.
study the publics, get to know what they want or what they seek to benefit from the company, and we make sure that it is addressed. And then we get feedback from the public to back to the company
Okay,
in
not
order
not
to
cutting you
assure.
short, not cutting you
Mm,
short, but trying to understand this myself and then with my audience as well.
mhm.
You made mention that you are the clerk
Yeah,
clerk
Clark.
to the General Assembly,
Yeah,
exactly. And then you said you write the communique we have been seeing, and then
yeah.
your boss, who is the
Speaker.
speaker,
Mm,
goes through, and then you publish it to the
yeah,
junior student.
yeah.
And then you explain what PR is. You said it's communication from the
Yes.
company to
From
the
the corporate firm or the company to the publics and feedback from the publics back to the corporate firm.
back to the corporate firm. So would you say it kind of links? It kind of links the
Yeah.
explanation I've given based on the PR, and then what you are doing as your duties from the
Yes.
clerk assembly to kind of link. So would you say that one is you're also being active or you're acting as a PR practitioner in right now as you're holding the position of the clerk assembly?
Okay, so I would say right now I think I'm practicing some aspect of PR
Okay.
because when we go for general assembly meetings, the course reps from the various constituencies, that's from level 100 to level 400, they bring their complaints and problems or issues that the students face. And during the meetings, we write down minutes. So when I go through my minutes in publishing a communique, some of the problems, which is from the students, that is what I sometimes write in the communique. And then when
Okay,
we
the
publish it,
grievances
the
they
feedback,
bring
yeah.
out and all that.
And so the feedback we get, and then we try to address it and send
Okay,
it
so
back
you explained
out.
what PR is. Could you briefly explain the international relation? What does it mean?
All right. So international relation is simply the relationship between that is established between nations and
Okay.
states. So they intentionally establish this relationship in order to ensure that policies among states does not affect the trade and politics or even the security between these nations. So, for instance,
Okay.
Nigeria, America, and Europe. You see that they have this international relation. For instance, UN is a very good example. So with the
Okay.
UN, they make sure that the policies they make does not go against other countries.
So the international relation is basically for is it always two countries coming together, or it
No,
could be
more than
more?
two. It could be more than two.
And what's the aim with that?
So with that, the main aim of international relations is to ensure that the policies that are being formed or are being taken in another country does not go against another country because we have
Okay.
some of their people living in the country. So for instance, in Ghana, that is why we have the
Nigeria.
the UK Commission for Trade and Commerce. So when Ghana is taking a decision, they have to be
They
present.
put them into
Executives,
consideration. But
yes,
someone
into
will also ask,
consideration.
someone will also say, I have my house, I live in my house. I didn't ask him to come and live with me. So why then do I have to necessarily put you in my decision making plans at home and then you get what I'm saying?
Yes,
I'm understanding you,
that's
but someone will
I
ask that
understand you.
why would I live in my house and then you coming to patch me, try and tell me that.
That's a very good one, but we should note that as we have immigrants living in our country.
Okay.
We also have our people living in in their country. So if
Okay.
we are going to do that, it's going to be like, let me use the word tit for tat. If we do it to them, they might also do
Do
it
it
to
for
us,
you. So in order
and
for us to protect our people
protect our
there,
people.
we're
Yeah,
supposed to also
yeah,
bring out plans or things that will
it will
help
help
their
them.
people in our
And the
country
main aim is in order to maintain peace.
in
We
order
can
to
do
maintain.
something that might make them annoyed, and they might react to that, causing another world war.
Good. Um, from your submission so far, I could see you are really having an enormous passion for PR. Why
Yes.
that passion?
All right. So with me personally, I love feedback a lot. I love
Okay.
feedback. Anytime I love to be criticized, or I love to get critiques from my
Critique.
friends. So the reason why I entered into PR is to ensure that after I complete school, corporate firms that are not progressing, or I would like to help corporate firms in order to
Okay.
get that necessary feedback in order to make them progress. And so that's simply why I love
Why
PR.
you like PR?
Yeah,
Wow.
and I also have this passion for public speaking. And
Public speaking.
PR
And
goes
and
alongside with
I've
public
noticed for
speaking.
some time, and you are part of the debate club.
Yes, the
And
Writers and Debaters Club.
so
Yes.
I'm again not surprised why you can be able to write the community that comes. Charlie, you are doing well with that. So moving on to find out from you, what's your take on the practice of PR in Ghana? The practice of
All
PR in
right.
Ghana. What's your
So
take on it?
PR, I would say that in Ghana right now, we are doing very well when it comes to the aspect of PR,
Okay.
because at first there was not a lot of education about PR, and a lot of people used to mix it up with marketing and advertising. So you could go to a corporate firm, and they'll give the job of an advertiser or a marketer of that corporate firm to a PR personnel. By this time, we are beginning to know the difference between PR and marketing, although they move along. But then, for a PR practitioner to be perfect, or for a PR practitioner to be able to do his duties very well, he has to be able to play the PR role differently from that of the marketing and advertising. And I think,
Okay.
and right now, Ghana is doing very well by
So PR and
appointing.
advertising, as you're saying, they are not the same.
They are not the same.
Okay.
PR personnels advertise the product image, the corporate firm's image. They make sure that the image of the corporate firm is not tarnished, and in so doing,
Okay.
they advertise what the company or the corporate firm has to offer. But then PR is different from advertising.
Advertising.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I think, guys, we are learning something here. So my next question to you is, how do you continue to grow and develop as a student from your career point of view? How do you develop yourself? How do you
Mm,
continue to grow?
okay, so during my stay in GIJ, and with by attending some lectures, I had the opportunity to speak to some PR personnels already out there and practicing the PR profession. And they always tell us that for you to be a successful PR personnel, you have to have some skills in order to aid you. And some of them are graphic design, video editing, and how to speak to people, how to
You
create
have to
that
know all.
relationship.
I'm coming on. You have to know all that.
You have to know all that, because
By the PR, are just as you are saying, you have
like,
explained, you are just there to protect the image of the company or the
that is what
firm. But why do you need editing?
that is a very good question. That is why you say, why do you need editing? But
Uh-huh.
let's the key reason why you need editing is that now when you go to a corporate firm, there are some skills that will let you be retained in the company. Assuming your the PRO of the trust hospital, you know that they advertise their policies and their values. So assuming they want to advertise their a new value that they've come up with, and you don't know how to do graphic design or video editing,